Hey, hey, I'm live. Trying to fix my desk here. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Come on in, get comfortable. I'm going live today. I'm so excited. I haven't been live in quite some time. As a matter of fact, I took a little, a big actually, hiatus. I was off for over 2 weeks. So I unplugged from all social media and Messenger because just had to take a break. Every now and again, you've got to take a break. And these glasses need some serious help here. So, hey, hey, drop your name. It says Facebook user, so I don't know who I'm talking to. So drop your name. Tell me you're here. If you're live, I'm so happy to have you. Just give me a second here so I can clear the fog on my glasses. We don't want fog. We want to be able to see clearly, right? Metaphorically and physically. So in real and for real, right? Okay. Hello. 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 Hey, Amanda. Nice to have you. Thanks for hopping in. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna get started because I'm kind of late. I actually took me a minute to get my act together today. Yes. There's a lot of Amandas, actually. I tend to attract Amandas. It's very interesting. I didn't always, but I've attracted a lot of Amandas in the last couple years. So I think that that's a good thing. I don't know what it means, but it's been great. So so happy to have you, Amanda. Thanks for hopping in. So okay, this one is heavy on mindset, really heavy on mindset, but as we all know, the law of attraction, for example, is the law of attraction, right? Action, right? So the actions that we take is going to set the vibrations, right? And whatever energy we put out is going to be the energy we receive. Okay, so it's all the things. Law of attraction is the law of attraction. Okay, so I'm not exactly talking about all the laws of attraction today, but I am talking about keeping yourself open to abundance and getting rid of that, smacking down the lack mindset. So before I get too deep into it, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. If you are here, either live or watching the replay, I'm Amanda Delaney, and I'm the Financial Fixer, the founder of Financial Fixer. And what is the Financial Fixer? Who is the Financial Fixer? Well, I'll just tell you the mission. In short, brief part of my mission is, to guide women in their journey to financial independence by helping them stop the cycle of lack mentality. And of course, includes things like check to check living and lifestyle and just not having enough. I help them crush debt and create an abundant life of their dreams, right? So this is all about designing your life. This is all about taking responsibility for your life because you are technically the only one that has to live it. Yes, we have our partners, we have our kids, we have our family, those that are taking this journey with us, but your journey is your own. So about 3 steps to turn lack mindset into abundance mindset. It's not just steps, but these are practices. These are kind of like keys, right? So keys and fundamentals, so to speak, on how to do this, not just in the now, but to consistently do it over time. Because that's how people become successful, is by doing something over and over again, practicing something and getting better at it, and therefore creating a compound effect to where they get to these different destinations in life. And I don't like to say arrived or get to a destination because that's not what this is all about. This is about setting your destinations throughout life, throughout your journey, and getting to that next step and that next level, and then going to the next level from that point. So we are never going to get where we're going, if that makes sense. We're just going to enjoy the journey, right? So here are some of the things that my clients have said to me, and I've said this to myself. I've got these feelings that boil up in me even now, even after some of the things that I've accomplished, right? So have you ever said to yourself or felt like you'll always be broke, or it's okay for me to be late on these bills because my family member, that's what they always did, right? Or debt is normal, it's average. The average person is in debt, so it's fine, right? Do you say those things to yourself, or have you felt that way? My parents were always did it this way, so I'm fine doing it this way, right? So how about it's normal to suffer financially? Have you felt that way? And have you said that, out loud or in your head, right? Give me a 1 if that's something that you've ever thought or felt, right? Put it in the comments, okay? Participate in this, all right? So this morning, I want to talk a little bit about my mentor. I'm listening to mentors, right? So I'm a money mentor, but I'm also taking feedback from mentors and doing what they do, right? Like gleaning to them, right? So I was listening to my mentor, Darren Hardy, this morning, and he said something that triggered me. So I get triggered. Yeah, we all do, right? And so I'm not talking about being offended. I'm talking about feeling triggered, like something makes you go, ugh, or, oh my gosh, like that sucks. Or, yes, I feel that way. Or makes you even feel bad about something, right? So, but it made too much sense. So you never feel satisfied, right? That's what he said, right? And he was saying this to his audience. And I was like, yo, and he's right. Because if I did feel satisfied, I wouldn't be on this journey of seeking ways to improve, right? Would I? So, and if you are here, you're just like me. That's something we can all relate on, right? So, with that said, the kicker is you will never be satisfied. Now, if you find yourself satisfied, then that means that you have no desire to grow and that there's other issues, right? That you're not growing, or that you've decided that you're going to stay, I guess, average, right? You have an attitude of average, maybe. Bob Proctor said that. And I was like, yeah, I ain't got that attitude, right? Sometimes we do, though. Sometimes we fall into those traps. But basically, you will never be satisfied. So accept this here and now, so you can move on and keep growing, right? Because sometimes we think about where we're not at yet, or what we're not satisfied with, or what is not working out for us. And therefore we feel frustrated and tired and sick and tired. And we stop moving, we stop growing, and we get, this feeling of resentment. I'm an example. I've been resentful towards some of my family lately. Lots of dysfunction going on there, and I have been pulled into it. And I'm not blaming my family on this. I'm blaming me, right? Because it's me that's setting that precedent. It's me that's tolerating, right? So what are we tolerating? So with this, I want to say something to you that maybe you haven't heard before, or you have, but you feel guilty about it and you shove it down, right? And you don't want to admit it. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. It's okay to want more. It's okay to want to live a prosperous and abundant life. As a matter of fact, it's freaking awesome to want this and to seek it and to earn it. Okay, so start there. It is okay. All right, so let's break this down just a little bit. So I said what I was going to kind of be, talking about and aligning with today. Why is lack mindset dangerous? I mean, this may seem very obvious, but maybe it's not, right? So people who struggle with lack mentality, they believe that there's not enough in the world, not enough love, not enough success, money, health, happiness, spirituality. There's not enough. You don't deserve it, right? They feel I like, if I have a lack mentality, I feel that I don't deserve something, or that there's not enough for me. Like I've got a piece of the pie, and the pie is too small. So my mind is telling me that pie is too small. And so my piece of the pie is going to be that much smaller, right? So, and if they were to get their share, they would subconsciously sabotage it due to feeling guilty, undeserving, or a host of other negative emotions, right? So this is the lack mentality and or mindset, right? So, and it's very dangerous to go to this place, because not only is this going to affect your life, but it's going to affect the lives of those that are in your life, such as potentially your children, your spouse, your siblings, your parents, so on and so forth, right? So I want to bust through the bottleneck today. Bottleneck, right? We know what happens with the bottleneck. So we've got a bottle and it's this big, and then the neck comes up and it gets smaller and smaller, right? So that means that, there's a smaller space for something to flow through, right? So you have these big visions, right? And then suddenly you see narrow paths, and we want to break through and keep those paths widened. How do we do that, right? So we'll talk about that just a little bit. So another thing is prepping for the triggers. Be prepared for the triggers. In a lot of cases, the triggers are the comparisons. So I'm like literally like one of those people. Like, you're not the only one if this is you. Tell me if you are triggered by comparing yourself to other people. Put a 2 in the comments. Okay. Put a 2 in the comments if you get triggered regularly. And I'm not saying feeling offended. I'm saying just I don't know, hurts your feelings, or, someone else is doing something big and you're like, hey, why can they do that and not me? Like, I'm not that different. Like, what's the beef? Like, why can't I get there? Right. So put a 2 in the comments if you get triggered. You feel this visceral response when you see someone else doing something that may seem better than you, right? Or better than where you are at, right? So we got to get to the place where we are not feeling, we're going to be triggered. It'll happen, but to where we can bust through those triggers quickly, right? So also what we're going to do today is we are going to create space for abundance flow. Okay. So maybe you really, I'm going to say this, maybe you really don't have the space. We're going to fix this. Okay. Because sometimes we may think that we have all the space in the world for bigger and better things to come to us, but we really don't, right? Because our plate's too full. Our house is too full. We've got too much stuff mentally and physically, right? Put a 3 in the comments if you feel like you might have too much stuff. Okay. 3 in the comments if you feel like you have too much stuff, meaning too many things to do, too much stuff in your house, clutter, just too many things going on, right? Put a 3 in the comments if you feel that way. Okay. So, design your dream life. So how does one design their dream life? Okay. I can go in a million different directions on how we design our dream life. But it starts with starting. Okay. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to assess your goals. I know that, everybody's like, oh, here we go, more goals talk, this or that, but I want to really like kind of bring this home for you a little bit. If we don't have goals, we don't ever have something that we're looking forward to or something that we're trying to accomplish. Therefore, we are going to stay with an attitude of average, right? So, but not only do I want you to assess your goals and really get, clear on what your goals are, but what are the reasons? The very important key to your goals even coming to fruition are for you to have reasons that are so good and so big, right? Like your reason has to be so important to you and critical that those goals are going to have to happen because your reasons are too big, because you can't sleep at night if those reasons are not, like if you're not able to, whether it's a person or whether it's a place that you want to go or, a way that you want to feel, right? Think about how you want to feel. So Jim Rohn is a powerful speaker and a success mentor. And he said something like this. I'm not going to, don't quote me. Okay. And excuse me, I've had allergy attacks lately, so I'm not sleeping. And that's not because I'm not a good sleeper. It's because I have allergies. So struggling lately. Anyways, Jim Rohn says something like, dreams and goals can become magnets. The stronger the reason, the stronger the goals become. And more powerful the magnetic energy, the pull, right, is to those goals, right? So if you've got goals, and you notice that you're struggling to be pulled towards those goals, like you're actually just not gravitating towards them, or the goals are not being pulled to you, there's something that there's no magnetic pull, right? There's something that's a disconnect, and your reason is not strong enough. It's not big enough, right? I'm so sorry. I'm coughing. Oh my gosh. Hello. Anyways, so with that, stop comparing yourself to others. Stay in your lane. Abundance is for you to decide. Okay. So, what are your goals? Confirm and affirm that they are your goals, that you are not trying to meet the goals of someone else's, like desire, right? Make sure that these are your goals and that you're deciding on them first and foremost. Okay. So let's smack down the lack. Let's take inventory of what you have. All right. So for example, what you've accomplished, the things that you've done, and the things that you have now. I'm going to use this is going to be like metaphoric, alignment a little bit. So my husband and I, when it comes to buying food, because food is one of those very expensive things, we talk about, money and spending and tracking our spending behavior and so on and so forth, right? And food right now is very high priced. With that said, we're very good at emptying out our fridge, excuse me, along with making sure that we, like not just emptying out our fridge, like actually eating everything that's in our fridge, consuming it, right? Things don't get thrown away. It's very rare that something gets thrown away. And if it does, we both have a hissy, both of us, we hate it. Okay. So we just no waste, right? So, you want to, instead of making a list, so we do make a list. We make a list of things that we need, right? We do that throughout the week and things like that. We're kind of in a routine of doing that. But what I'm saying here is I don't want you to make a list of the things that you want or that you think that you need. You're going to do that, throughout, your days and so on. But take inventory of what you have, of the things that you have, whether you like it or not, your car, your house, your family, obviously, the food on your plate. Take inventory of all the things that you have. This will help you to first of all, have an attitude of gratitude, but also for you to determine what is, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, not serving you, right? Something that you may want to let go of, right? So how do we invite more abundance? This is on the same subject. By getting rid of everything and everyone that doesn't fit into the life that you desire. That sounds harsh, doesn't it? I know. But in order for you to make space for the good, you have to put it out into the universe. And you have to move things out of the way, right? So if you want a life that you desire, if you don't like and this is going to go into the vacuum law of prosperity by Bob Proctor. Okay. And if you want to look that up, you can look that up on YouTube when you get a chance, when you get off this live or this replay. But it is really eye-opening. Okay. And this goes with the people, the places, and the things. So check your closet, check your circle of friends. What noise is crowding your brain? Check it. Right. And then of course we have to be, like really aware of what we're consuming, not just what we're eating, right? But what we're consuming into our brains, right? What information are we taking into our brains, right? So, one more thing I want to mention is that we need to be generous. So if we want to receive in life and receive prosperity and receive abundance, we need to give. And I'm not saying give all your money, especially if you're in the place where you're working to, increase your abundance, right? And maybe you may not have that. If you do have the money to give, obviously give to others. But provide abundance to other people, meaning give them a little bit of your time, within reason, that you're able to, call someone on the phone, right? Give them some attention, let them talk, right? Hear them out. That is you adding value to them. Therefore, that will come back in return. So I just want to mention that one thing. All right. So I'm going to give you some calls to action. So these are going to be 3 steps, like I said, and you're going to have to repeat these. So number 1, I'm going to kind of repeat what I've already gone through. Get clear on your reasons first. If I want X to happen, meaning abundance, money, success, big house, travel, whatever it is, right? What are my whys, my reasons, right? X and Y need to align, right? Z is where we want to go, your goals, your abundant life, right? That's where you want to go, the Z. It cannot be brought about without X and Y being in alignment. So if you say you want, this new car, but your reason why is in alignment with maybe a value, like you want this new car because it's pretty, and it maybe that doesn't align with your values, right? Or it's not a good enough reason. So I'm just kind of making something up here off the top of my head. But if that makes sense to you, so make sure that X, your what you want and your reason why, they can get you to Z if they're aligned. Okay. So the next thing to do, so that's the first one. So get very clear on your reasons, your biggest reasons. Write them all down. Fill out sheets of paper of all the reasons why you want more. Okay. The next thing is to write 5 things you have already accomplished that you're proud of. So if you're not able to do this right now, whenever this live ends or this replay, you can go back and hit replay again. Write this down. What are 5 things that you've accomplished? 5 big things, not small things. If you want to pick small things over the month, that's fine too. It's important for you to, we focus on tiny wins here, but I want you to mention big things because you're seeking big abundance, right? So let's think of the big things that you've accomplished. Right. So I'll mention some of mine. So I married the man of my dreams. That to me is a huge accomplishment. Happy to say that I married the man of my dreams. I've helped several boss babes crush massive debt in short periods of time. All right. That's a big freaking deal to me. Huge accomplishment. And I have so much more to do there. So that's my point in continuing to seek abundance, right? I've done this big thing, but there's more big things to come. So we're not done. We're not satisfied. We're going to continue to grow, right? So the third thing is I had the audacity to start my own business. That's a mission-driven and heart-centered business, against what the naysayers, the smack talkers are saying, including my own internal narrative, right? The self-sabotage, the mean girl, the inner mean girl, against those naysayers. Right? I started my own business. I had the audacity to do that. The fourth thing, I was a high-performing sales leader in an industry that is dominated by, male over female. I sold truck parts. That's pretty intense. So some of you know my story about me being in the trucking industry, but I became a high-performing salesperson and a sales leader in that industry and did very well. But of course, I had to kick corporate to the curb because I'm an entrepreneur deep in my soul, right? So I made a decision. That's a big accomplishment though, right? Doing that. And I'm proud of that. Another accomplishment, number 5, is I put myself through university. I got my degree in business finance, and as a single mom, by the way, I was a single mom when I did that. I still look back and I'm like, I don't even know how I survived, but I did it, right? That's a big deal. And then I went on to pay off $80K in a very short period of time to pay that student loan off, all those student loans that I took out. Okay, big accomplishment. So I'm just telling you my accomplishments to kind of give you some context. What have you done up to this point in your life, regardless of whether it's about family or business or your performance, your professional career, any of that stuff? What have you done? Write it all down. It's important that you remember that you've got a list of accomplishments and that you're proud of that. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is implement the vacuum law of prosperity. All right. And there's more to it. So if you go to YouTube, head over to YouTube and just look it up. Just look up vacuum law, Bob Proctor. It's easy to find. Okay. So people, ask yourself, I'm going to talk about people, places, and things real quick. Ask yourself, whose views of the perfect life am I buying into? Who am I listening to? Who's telling me what kind of life I should live? Am I buying into that? Go deep. Get clear. And if it's not your own view, I suggest you change it. Okay? And get clear on what you want that view to look like. All right, places. Am I hanging in places that give me low vibrations or energy? Is it my job? Is it the bar that I'm going to? Is it, am I feeling insecure when I go to certain places? When I go to those networking groups, am I in the right groups, right? And I want to go back to people a little bit. Your inner circle. Who is in your inner circle? Or are there people in your inner circle that are not serving your growth? Not to say that you want to, and again, I don't mean literally get rid of everybody, but I mean create distance. Create distance between yourself and those people that are not aligning with you getting to the next level. So we can dig deeper in that if you want to send me a DM. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but you know where I'm going with that. Okay. So let's talk about things. What things do I have that I don't like? Okay. I did an exercise this morning on this. I wore a shirt to bed. I didn't do my laundry on time this week. Okay. Sue me. All right. I was late on my laundry. So I didn't have like the pajamas that I like to wear last night. And so I was wearing this shirt that I don't really like to wear to bed, but it's like one of my bedtime shirts, but I don't really care to wear it. And this morning I discarded that shirt. And then I took it out of the garbage and was like, well, maybe I can just donate it. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's got holes in it. Okay, I'll discard it. But anyways, I'm not saying throw things away. I'm saying if you can give it away to someone else that could use your stuff as their treasure, do that, right? But anyways, my point is that I looked at this shirt and I was like, as I was changing, and I was like, yeah, I don't like this shirt. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm getting rid of this shirt. And I'm not going to go out and replace it and spend my money to replace it right now, but I'm creating. So I want to kind of like bring it home a little bit here. As I'm getting rid of this thing, okay, that doesn't serve me, that I don't like or want, or that, doesn't bring me joy, I'm getting rid of it. What did I do? I created space for more abundance right there. I created space for the life that I desire with that one little item that I got rid of. Okay. So the life that I desire is going to come in and fill that space. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to force myself to go out and replace that shirt. It doesn't need to replace. I don't even need something for that right now. But do you see where I'm getting at? Get all the clutter out of the way. Check your closet. Go in there and do one exercise today. Get rid of one thing today. Okay, call to action. Get rid of one thing today. One thing. Whether it's an article of clothing or whether it's, some kind of gadget that you have in your house that you keep looking at and you're like, why is that thing still sitting on that shelf? Is there something in your refrigerator that you shouldn't be eating? Right? Ice cream? I don't know. Is there something that you have that is not serving you that you need to let go of today? Do it now. Like as soon as you're done with this live or this replay. Okay. Yes. If it doesn't spark joy, Berta says. Yeah. Things that bring you joy. Yes, exactly. So I totally agree. And that's the Con Marie as well. And I read her book. What the heck is the name? What's the name of her book? Help me. I can't even think of it right now, but that is the Con Marie method, which is to, if it doesn't bring you joy, then be done with it. Right? Like, think about it. Okay. I don't like this thing. I haven't worn this thing. If you're looking at your closet, and I'm telling you, get down and dirty with it. Do not feel like, oh, I haven't worn this thing in like 10 years. But I might wear that at this event that I've got in my brain, 5 months from now or whatever. No, if you haven't worn it in 10 years, that shit ain't speaking to you, right? Get rid of it. Okay. So here's the key here. Repeat these exercises regularly and consistently for the long term. The shift will not be overnight, but it will shift. The shift will happen. I promise you. Do this over and over again. Continue to, evaluate, assess, purge, set your goals, assess your goals, check your progress, right? All the things. And when it comes to tracking and all the things, yes, life-changing magic of tidying up. Why couldn't I think of that? I don't know. I've read it over and over again, years and years ago. It really, honestly, that's one of the books that changed my life. I have to be honest with you. I even apply some of that to, the decluttering and the whole, like decluttering the mind. And a lot of it applies, whether it's mindset or just, things in general. I mean, our mind and our physical bodies, they have to be in sync. They are in sync, right? Totally, Berta. Thank you so much for the feedback. Love it. Okay, so I have an ask. This is easy. All right. If you love this, if you're getting value here, right, tell a girlfriend or a female family member who would benefit from this value and community and support. Okay. Invite her. I'm asking for you to just invite one. You can invite 10, you can invite as many as you want, but anyone that you can think of that would benefit from this, or you're like, oh, I know that person that, like really could use some, money mindset help or some help with getting out of debt for that matter, right? Send them to this free community. This community is free. I'm going to continue showing up here and giving you all the nuggets and helping you to break away from broke mentality, break away from lack mentality, and get to the next level with your finances. Okay. So that is what we do here. And I want to continue to help more and more of you as we go. So, and with that said, don't just text her. Don't just DM her, right? Call her. Okay. You want more abundance and joy in your life? You have to give it. Okay. So I hope that this brought you joy and that this brought you abundance today. And I'll be seeing you again next week. Okay. Probably the same time. I know I'm going to be going live on Thursday of next week. I'm not sure if I will replace this workshop with that live. However, I will decide. And then otherwise I will see you next week in another workshop. So, all right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.